So I've had a lot of people ask, how have I built my homemade EDF blower? So I'm gonna run through, this is actually revision 1. I'm still working on changes and I'll probably post a video when I have all the upgrades done, but let's tear this one down and I'll show you what components I used and how I built it. Alright, so starting out, we have the body, which is actually in 2 different pieces, and this one is mirrored other than the hole that I added for this servo controller or servo tester. But let's pull it apart so I can go over the components and then I'll show you how I assembled it. This tail might be a little wobbly. We'll see how well this works out. So these 2 top screws actually go through the top and hold in the EDF because this one has mounting tabs. So this one, it really holds it in there. It's not just pinching around it. It's actually holding into the tabs that come off, but I'll show you what I mean. And you can see I didn't wire a switch into this one. That's something the new revision does have. So you can see right here, it's very simple. Let's dig in and pull the different components. Lower this down a bit. Alright, so the first component you have right here, this is a 50 millimeter. The one I'm working on now is actually a 70, but this is a 50 millimeter EDF. You can see right there, it sits in the housing. This housing is, it's very simple. It's just a shell with a few curves, a few fillets and radiuses. So, and then you can see I just have this little clamp that I made that comes to the back. But let's dig in and get a few more parts pulled out so we can really go over this unit. Okay. This one's way simpler than my other one. I have another one of the servo testers. I'm gonna grab that just so I don't have to unscrew this one all the way. But let me go grab that and I'll be right back. Here's the servo tester right here. You can see it has an in and 3 outs. And all it is just a potentiometer on a knob. So you can spin it, and I use this as a throttle. And when you're using the servo, you have to make sure you get a servo with a 5-volt out. And you're actually just gonna use the out on the servo, or on the ESC. Sorry, I meant to say ESC. On the ESC, you wanna make sure that it has the out, and that out gets plugged directly into the output side instead of the input side of this. And that's how you make it work. Here we just have a little 2250 milliamp hour 3-cell LiPo. And then you have the ESC and motor. This is a Dobofo motor. Let's try saying that 5 times fast. But this one is a, I think it's 40 amp. Not sure where it's, oh there, oh it's right, bold letters right there, 40 amp ESC, 50 millimeter, and then you just have a little bracket that holds this servo tester on, and then a few screws. On the next revision, I've starting to incorporate an on-off switch, so you don't have to have the wires on the outside. I'm having a, I want to have a charger on it and a larger size, larger battery. I think the new battery is the inside of this one right now. So it's much larger and something I'm considering doing. If people are interested in this, I don't know if I'm gonna maybe potentially sell these. That's the end goals I think I want to try and do, is sell these. But I have to decide if I'm gonna go with the larger size or the smaller size. I think it's gonna make more sense to go with the larger diameter blower because it makes significantly more power and it just feels better. But this one is ultra portable and super light and has actually a pretty decent runtime with this. So let's put it back together and I'll show you how it operates once it's on, and then in the future I'll update you guys and show you the new one. So you just want to kind of get this centered in there. There's nothing that holds this battery in, that's all stuff that I'm working on, except the ESC when it's plugged into this is actually a pretty snug fit, which makes it so you don't actually need any mounting for this one. Actually, we'll leave it unplugged for a minute. But this one will come, want this to come out here. Actually, yeah, there's an order of operations here. We want to come bring these underneath. Come on, buddy. You can come over here too. You want to have the motor wires on the bottom of this one. Then you can bring over your battery wire, your balance port. And then last but not least on this, you want to tuck this in. That does not need to be on the outside. This all can stay inside. Actually, you want it to stay on the inside. That's that cable lead I was talking about that comes off the ESC, the 5-volt power. And then you want to just get your last wire on the outside, and then tuck this back to where it should be. And you want to just place this half right on top. while making sure you don't pinch any wires, and you get it lined up with everything you need. Once you have it there, you're just gonna tighten this back down. And you don't want to go super snug with this one, because it is just plastic at the end of the day. The upgraded one should also have heat or thread inserts, so you can really crank these down and get a nice secure fit. There we go. Now that this one's connected without a switch, that's why these wires are out here. One for charging, and two, you can just plug it in. You'll hear it do its little cycle to let you know that it's now on and has power. And then all you have to do is turn your knob. And depending how much you turn your knob is depending how much thrust you get. There you go. What do you guys want to see next?